Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, Tank12, however you call me, I don't really care, and welcome back to World of Tanks. Today is the day where we finally do recap the ranked game mode. I've played season 2 of the ranked season of 2020 and 2021, and now I have basically finished this season with the highest placement, at least division-wise, in the Silver League somewhere. Somewhere, I think, with a 120% effectiveness. And to be fair, I don't really know what all of that means because I haven't really played a lot of ranked previously. I haven't really played ranked because it was always a little bit too salty and just too sweaty. And I decided this time around I wanted the Kampfpanzer 50 and I needed the bonds, so I had to go through with it. And yeah, I've played a lot of games on ranked, and I can say that I'm very glad that ranked is over, because there are a lot of problems with this game mode at the moment. There are a lot of good things about this game mode, yes, because I think I haven't played World of Tanks the way that I have played ranked in a very long time. I think the very last time I played World of Tanks like this was when we were playing Clan Wars and actively trying to get somewhere and where the battles really counted. And ranked this time around is the exact same. These games count. They're very important. If you're losing, you're going to lose a chevron. Well, if you're unlucky, you're going to lose a chevron. But I've noticed that although they tweaked the ranked game mode quite severely by not allowing any kinds of reward vehicles at tier 10, like the FV218, FV215B183 exactly, like the Object 907, like the Chieftain. All of these tanks are not allowed in the ranked matchmaking, and that is a good thing. I also really like that every single tank has like a specific role that is designated towards that vehicle, and which makes it like if you play the vehicle as intended, it does give you additional experience. And experience is what you need to achieve the chevrons. So already you can see we're getting pestered by artillery because we're in a T110E5, a vehicle that absolutely is most of the time already focused target because it does not have a lot of armor on the rear and on the side. But I still love this tank. You can see I have a 3 mark on this vehicle. It's a great vehicle. I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite tanks in the game. So yeah, these reward vehicles are out. That's great. Makes the playing field a lot more evened out. Everyone has to play the vehicles that they have access to. None of these Clan Wars reward vehicles. That means also that you're not going to be seeing an Object 279E running around just destroying every single one of them. But there are still issues at hand with this game. Unfortunately, there are still a lot of problems that just make this game mode a bit annoying to play and just very frustrating in its own and in itself. What I noticed first and foremost is I've played a lot of the Leopard 1, and they designated the Leopard 1 as fire support. How did they not designate the Leopard 1 as a sniping vehicle that might be fire support? Because if you shoot somebody from a very far away, from a long distance out, you will not get additional experience. Although that tank has incredible good gun handling, why do they not add that into that? I don't really understand how they designated the Leopard 1 as fire support, where you need to be at the front lines with a vehicle that just easily gets pinned by everyone. So yeah, don't really understand that, but let's get right into all of the points that I have. So you could see previously I have been struck by artillery a couple of times. I've lost the majority of my HP to artillery, and you can see that the way that this game mode is played, people are very passive because everyone is afraid of losing chevrons. That is one of the main points that is troubling the ranked game mode. The chevron system just doesn't really work in World of Tanks. I know it's difficult for the wargaming developers to make a system that fits into the game, but the Chevron system, in my opinion, does not work for World of Tanks. And we can talk all about it, because if you look at the Chevron system in this game, it rewards the passive players, the players that stick to the back and just snipe and do not partake in the battle at the start, because the ones that actually do engage, are aggressive, will get punished by artillery, by enemy vehicles, and they will get taken out very early on. Right there you can see our IS-7 had enough of the artillery spam and decided to move in. He obviously got annihilated by artillery while he was doing that. The Conqueror GC took care of him. That is one of the main problems. This system does not promote teamwork. It goes against everything you've learned in this game, that you're supposed to work in a group. It goes against that because people are selfish. They do not want to lose their chevrons. Instead of trying to play for the victory, people play for the maximum amount of experience that they can earn. That's something you can see me doing right here in this mode. I have 210 HP remaining. I want to support these heavy tanks by moving up here and by sniping with a T110E5. It's not the most accurate, but it's not the worst either. By still supporting them over here, but not being in the line of fire, because I know I cannot take another hit by artillery. As soon as I go lit up right somewhere, artillery will be on top of me. So I'm going to be falling back, I'm going to be sniping for them, and it's going to be a very, very boring passageway right now because nothing is happening. You can see that the entire team that we have is currently in a very small little cubicle on the bottom right hand corner of the screen because everyone is afraid of losing their chevrons. They want to fall back, they want to get these guys in to shoot them and snipe them while they're in camouflage. And that's just something that you notice with this game mode, that it does only benefit the ones that are very passively. It does not actively support the players that are super aggressive. The players that are playing very aggressively, me included, I always play aggressively. I like to play the attacking role. Doesn't matter where I am. That's why I don't really like stationary tank destroyers. We kind of get place on the outside because we get punished by artillery, we get punished by all the people sitting in the back, we get punished by our own team who are not pushing, who are playing passively, and that's not their fault. It's not the fault of the players, it's not the fault of the ones that are in the Leopard 1 or in the Object 140, it's the fault of the system. The system does not work very well, does not work as intended, and this Chevron system with playing passively is just not a very good idea for a ranked game mode. So I think they really need to work or overwork that Chevron system, make it maybe more team focused, that, get the guys to play aggressively to win the game, because if you do win the game, it should give you, you can see if you win the game, you get a lot more chevrons. And this competition between the other players is just a huge issue that you have. And I think it's just the wrong way to go in a ranked game mode where it's basically solely focused on you. It's all about you. Obviously, I know the rank is distributed to every single player, and each player gets their own rank. And that's why everyone wants to get the most experience to get the highest rank, right? It's clear. But the thing is that if you completely throw overboard the team play aspects of it, you kind of just go against World of Tanks completely, and it's just not a joy to play. It's not a lot of fun. It's frustrating, and that's another point that I've noticed. That people are incredibly frustrated with this game. They are very, very upset. They get frustrated by the game. They get into this downward spiral, and it just feels like a chore to play the ranked game mode. While the ranked game mode should be fun, it should be something different, it should be exciting, it's not. A lot of people feel frustrated, they feel burnt out, they feel annoyed by the system, and I think that's one of the reasons why it should definitely be overworked. And I think we have enough of sitting just in the back. Let's jump over to another gameplay where there's a bit more action going on. So the second game that I've prepared for you guys is in my 60 TP. To be fair, I didn't really play a lot of heavy tanks during this ranked season. and I think it was a bit of a mistake. I only played medium tanks, and these medium tanks, sometimes they worked splendidly, amazing games in some of the medium tanks, but then sometimes you had terrible games. And to be fair, the 60 TP, it's a pretty damn impressive tank, especially with its heat shells and just the alpha damage that it can just put out there. And yeah, I think probably next time around I will be playing the 60 TP more than I did previously. So let's get back to the points that we were talking about previously. The ranked game mode is currently feeling like it's a chore to play. It's not a lot of fun, and that combines a lot of different things. It combines the EBRs, the constant EBR spam on open maps where you have an EBR running circles around you, and it just kind of annoys you. The combination of EBR and artillery is something that just does not work in ranked. I think in ranked, if we did not have artillery in ranked, I think the games would be, I think they would be more dynamic, because people would be pushing more. Because I've noticed that people that push, that get spotted early on, especially if they're in a heavy tank, they get pummeled by artillery very early on, and the focus fire of artillery is crazy. Because of this passiveness that you'll be seeing in this game, because of the way people play very passively, and I do not know what that Progetto 65 was doing right there. Because people play such a passive role in this game mode, artillery has a field day, because what artillery just always lacks in standard battles is the time to get enough shots in. Because artillery, the game usually ends very early on for them, and they maybe get about 3,000 damage if they can. But in this game mode, artillery has all the time in the world. Although you have some very good RD players that do counter battery you, but most of the time you can still get past that by just playing, by moving around. If you're an artillery player, just move from one spot to another. If you forget to move, well, you're going to get blasted by a counter-battering arty, definitely. And that's just something you'll have to get used to. But that the artillery, just 2 artillery pieces can do so much damage is incredible. And it just shows you how broken this fucking class is. Artillery is still broken in this game 10 years down the line. They have never been able to fix this fucking shit class, and I'm completely upset about it, because every single time I talk about artillery, there's some fucking dickwad coming on this channel talking about how artillery is not broken and it promotes aggressive play because people are not camping. And that's just the complete opposite, because artillery completely destroys movement, because as soon as you're out on the open field, artillery will punish you, and thus it promotes you sitting behind a rock, while it still can punish you while you're sitting behind the rock. So you're basically out in the open anyway, and it's just fucking shit, and you do not enjoy it at all. That's just one of the things that really annoys me about artillery, and it just still enrages me to this day that artillery has not been fixed. This stun mechanic is one of the worst things that they've ever added to artillery. It's not making it work more, it's making it worse. And that's one of the main points that I'll be talking about right here. That artillery needs to be overworked in basically the game, but it also needs to be overworked in ranked, because artillery at the moment in ranked is absolutely filthy and disgusting. If you have looked into the ranked queues, usually heavy tanks, medium tanks, tank destroyers, there were like 2 or 3 vehicles waiting in queue, but artillery, there were basically like 40 or 50 arty players just waiting in queue to get into the games, because there's a limit of 2 arty, and the limit of 2 arty is still too much. Just imagine that having 2 artilleries is still too much for a game. How much a single class can destroy the entire feeling and the pacing and the dynamic of a game if you only have 2 of them out of 15. How bad it must be. And these dumb skull nuts over at Wargaming still do not get it that artillery is the worst thing they've ever created. And it just boggles me that I still cannot see a way that artillery gets fixed in this game. And I think a solution would be either take out artillery out of the ranked game mode, or limit it to 1 artillery per game. Limit the amount of games that you can have in artillery to maybe 3 per day, because it's crazy. The artillery is such an annoying part of this game, and it ruins the incredible fun that you could have. And it's so annoying. Why can they not overwork Arty? Give Arty like support features, smoke, or like flares to light up certain parts of the map and spot vehicles. Why not do something like that? If you have like smoke shells on your artillery, the people could be playing a lot more aggressive, because you could just like bury an entire way and a view, like a complete like flank in smoke, and they could not spot them unless they really get close to it. Why not something like this? Artillery is not a supporting vehicle at the moment, because the stun feature, which is supposed to give you the opportunity to shoot the vehicle, usually tends to be immediately erased by the medkit, because people do not want to be stunned. And then you can only get the support if they actively shoot the target and you actively start shooting the vehicle the entire time. And it's so annoying to get hit in a minute by like 3 arty pieces or 2 arty pieces that do, I don't know, 500 damage per shot, and they manage to shoot you twice. 2 vehicles, they shoot you twice, or they can shoot twice. They shoot 4 times in a minute, and they wreck your tank so crazy that you can't do anything. Your game is over. You are done. You cannot really hide from that. And that's just the biggest issue I have had with Ranked, is this artillery epidemic. And I even started playing artillery. The thing is, I even started playing artillery. That's the thing. I never play artillery. I noticed that arty is so easy. I played a couple of games. I played my Object 261, which I've never played before. And I played it, and it was so easy. I ammo wrecked 2 guys. I set 2 guys on fire, and that in a single game. Imagine that. What the hell is that? Well, either way, I think we're going to wrap this up. I'm just not a big fan of this ranked game mode at the moment. I think it needs to be overworked really, really badly. And, well, unless they're not changing it, I don't really see the reason to be playing ranked unless there's a really good reward vehicle, such as this American heavy tank that you'll be getting, which is super crazy good, as I've heard. And, yeah, kind of obvious, right? You have to get something in order to play that shitty ass mode. And yeah, I'm just not really excited about the future of ranked unless they work this through.